Hi, and welcome to EasyPeasyBackend in introduction video. So this is a video that's supposed to show you what EPB EasyPeasyBackend is about. It's basically an NPM package, which is a package written in JavaScript to help develop JavaScript projects, and its purpose is to build your own server. So it builds the code, it writes the code for you, and it builds the server for you. The motivation behind it is that usually writing backend is more or less the same in every project. At least the first couple of hours of setting it up and making the whole basic boilerplate is similar, and then afterwards what happens is you grab that boilerplate and then you need to do all kinds of routine tasks. So stuff that you do in almost every application is user authentication, database connections, CRUD operations. So that's like messing with the database, withdrawing, sending, and changing information through and to the database, logging, many type definitions and dependencies you install manually, Docker files, and many more things. All stuff that you repeat yourself every time through every application, while the backend more or less remains the same. So yeah, you may have a few different properties for user, but still the whole process of making a user authentication system or for CRUD operations is similar through every backend. So my solution to save time and to save repetition is an easy to use user-friendly NPM package. Um, Basically, this package provides a command line interface, CLI, that lets you build your own very basic boilerplate for a backend server. So it gives you the template and it generates the initial files that you need. And then afterwards, it also gives you the builder UI, which is the package's client. This client gives you the ability to expand your backend and to build anything you want. So this schema shows exactly what happens. EasyPeasyBackend is a library, and through the CLI, you can put in this command to create your own server or microservice. Then you put in npm run dev, and you get the client and the server talking to each other, the client and the server of the library. And these guys, they operate through the builder UI, and basically they write the code for you in your server. I'll show you a little demonstration to show you how it works. So we have an ordinary application right here. Okay, this application is not something I made, just some very simple TV show app. So you have a bunch of TV shows here, names and pictures of the TV shows, and you can search. You can click a TV show and you see more information that wasn't here beforehand. Okay, so that's the basic stuff. And now, what happens if I take the backend away from this? So without backend, it will look like this, right? So you have the client side, which is what you see, and you have a database that sends the information of the TV shows. I'll show you it right now. So what you can see here is the database. So you see every square here is an object. It represents a TV show. So you have a TV show named The Flash. You see that the name is the property and that's the string. So you have the TV show's properties and you know exactly what it looks like. And that's what we have in the database here. So basically this app is trying to access, it's sending a request to a server that doesn't exist, so you get a network error. We want this app to be able to communicate with the server, and for the server to be able to send you the app back all the data it needs from the database. And that's what we're gonna do today, right now together. So we're gonna build a backend from scratch with EPB, Easy Peasy Backend. So we have this empty folder, number one. As you can see, it's empty. I'm gonna just go and basically I have the package installed right now, but if you don't have it installed, you can just install it right now through npm I and globally install it. So it's called Easy Peasy Backend at Core and Esri. So you just do that. But for me, it's installed, so I'm just gonna go and write create EPB create server. Now it's gonna ask me a bunch of questions. So it's like a wizard, and it's asking you which database you want to work with. Right now, I only support MongoDB. Later, I plan to add SQLite as well. Also, a database URI. So if you have a URI and your database is hosted somewhere, you can put it in right now. And let's do that. Now it's asking me whether or not I want to write in TypeScript. I used to support JavaScript, but then TypeScript kind of took over. I'm gonna add JavaScript later on. Right now it's only TypeScript. And additional is a Git repository. No thanks. All right, so it's building the project. And as you can see, new files have been generated. All of these have not been here before. Everything that's green is new. So you have a database folder and a logger that keeps the logs. You have a type system, type definition. You have app.ts and a connection to the database. A Docker file if you want to turn this into a microservice. You also have a config file, resolvers, and type definitions, which we'll talk about later. And that's pretty much it. Now you need to install the server's dependencies. So you do npmi and install them. To save time, I just did npmi over here on folder number 2, which is exactly the same except I installed the dependencies. So right now, after you've initialized your template and you install the dependencies, you can commit this to GitHub even before installing dependencies, because it's git ignored, but you can commit this to GitHub and have like the basic boilerplate ready. And now you can just, without writing any code, you do npm run dev and you can start. So this will open 3 things for us. It will open the interface, the builder UI on localhost 5000 that's the libraries. It will open the libraries backend, which is 8001, and it will open your own backend at 8081. So, and it also connects to the database. So now let's go to our client, which is the builder UI. So to the left hand side of the screen, you can see that we have kind of like a GUI. So you can do all kinds of actions over here that we'll discuss soon. And on the right hand side, you have the live code representation, which is exactly what you see on your files, on the codes and the file itself. And you have the GraphQL playground, which you can send here. You can send requests to your server and test its viability. So for example, we have a test query and we can just send it and we get back okay and test passed on the logs. Cool. So now let's just see what we need to do. So we want to make this app work. And if we refresh the page right now that we have a server that's running, you can see that it has a server to talk to. So it's sending us a different error this time. This time it says, okay, the server exists, but it's not giving me anything. All right, so let's make it give the app what it needs. So what it needs is a bunch of TV shows. We need to show the server we have something that represents a TV show. It's called a model. So the TV show looks like this. It has a genres, which is an array. It has a name, which is a string, and etc., etc. Seasons, which is a number. Let's just describe that for our server in create and custom type, and then let's call it a single TV show. That's the name of the model. And then we have the properties. So I have it right here to save time. Exactly what we saw in the database. Just put them in one by one. Okay, so we have a name, which is a string. We have rating, which is also a string, and status, which is also a string. I know I put it in like that. Okay, cool. Image, thumbnail, path, which is a string. Seasons, it's a number or int, whatever. And we have show ID, which will be our unique property for the model. So let's create a database schema as well. This will create a TypeScript interface. Only a TypeScript interface. If you create a database schema as well, you can select a unique property or many properties that are unique. We only need one actually. So let's just click create. Before I do, please notice the right hand side of the screen, we have the database folder and we have the types folder. You'll see 2 new files being generated as we click this. Also, you can watch the logs. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm just kidding, just logs. creating a new type interface, creating a new database schema. So we have two new files created. We have the interface file right here, and we have the single TV show schema for the database. Now that we have that, our backend server knows what to expect. It knows what it's dealing with. It knows what a TV show is. So now we can just create actions for it, which is really easy. Using the builder UI, you can access add and then CRUD operations. I'm also planning to add user auth, image upload, and many more things that I even aren't showing here. But like, I'll just give you a teaser. It says like it shows you the dependencies you need, and if you click get it now, you can just select all kinds of bunch of properties for the user auth. But that's not for right now. Let's click add and CRUD operations, and let's do that. So we select our own schema, which is single TV show schema, and then we just click whatever action we want. Like, we select the action we want. So we want to read all of the TV shows from the database and just view it over here on the application. Sorry, that's the working application. This is the one we want. So we want to view all the TV shows here. So we want to read all of them. Read all is this one, and let's click that and just sorry about that. Click that and click create. You can watch on the right hand side resolvers.ts and typedefs.ts, two files. Notice that this is a GraphQL server. So GraphQL servers work on two main files, resolvers and typedefs. Resolvers have the actions inside them, and typedefs have actually just the type definitions. So basically, when a GraphQL server gets a request, it kind of cross paths with the resolvers and typedefs. It compares it to each other and make sure there are no errors, and then just resolves the request. So let's notice that. Let's create and see how it writes the code for us. Over here we got read all single TV shows, and over here we have a type definition for single TV shows, and also the action itself over here. And now, once the server restarts itself, which will be very soon, as you can see, it's starting right now, we can just refresh the page, and it will go back to working like we had before. So hold on, yeah, that's it. Now if we click one of those TV shows, it won't work because we still need more additional information that the server doesn't have the option to supply right now. But if we just add read one, so we want to read a single TV show this time, and choose a unique property for it, which is show ID, then we can create it again, and this time the server will know how to read just one TV show and give us the whole information for that TV show. And that's how we create a backend in about 5 minutes, with a really good logging system and best practices and TypeScript and Dockerfile and all that stuff. And everything works. You can expand it as much as you want. That's the point of EPB. Thanks for watching.